Kevin said no.
I started like 10 minutes ago.
Oh. Why did you start 10 minutes ago? It's only been 2 minutes over 10:30.
No, I'm just kidding. I
Ooh.
literally started it like right before you got up.
Ooh, Mom and Dad are fighting again.
We're not fighting.
We never fight. Is it 1:16?
15.
Are you sure?
Yeah, pretty sure? Yeah, 15.
Oh.
Yeah, based on everything I've uploaded.
All right, then. I'll take your
114
word, Mommy.
was
No
last
worries.
week. 113 was the week before. 112 the week before. 111 the week before. 110 the week before.
All right. Desnode, are you joining us in here, in this world? Or are you going to...
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All righty. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Crafting Chat. We are on episode 115 here. And, gentlemen, how are we all doing tonight? How are we all feeling?
Doing pretty good. Oh, that's broken. Don't worry about that.
Well, that's okay. Things break. Don't worry about it, Kevin. We can always fix them. Unless they're
Well,
hearts.
hold
Can't
on
fix
now.
those. Can't fix those.
No, technically you can.
Also, can't fix diabetes. Can't fix that. That's broken forever as well.
I'll tell you what you can't fix. Blizzard. Am I right?
That's also true. You can't fix them. They're always. I'll tell you what else you can't fix. Ubisoft. You can't fix them. They're always broken.
You know what
Adam?
else you can't fix? No, we're not going to go into politics. All right.
Okay. I mean, we can take that route, but that'll be a different podcast. That's a different one that we haven't done in ages. Adam, how you doing?
I'm good, other than the libtards always fucking my day up.
Oh, there it is.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
Alright, we went there.
See, Kevin, you knew where I was going with it. It's okay. Nah, I'm alright. I'm cold, but other than that, I'm good.
Oh no.
Maybe you should wear that MAGA cap. That'll keep your head a little warm.
Hey,
Jesus.
first of all,
Desnodo,
second of all, and third of all, Trump won. All right, that's you know, that's. I was talking to a guy at a Home Depot who has a brother, whose sister was like a cousin of like a friend of mine, and she worked for a voting company in Spain, and Spain had a president that was like real sketch. But going back to my one friend Carlos, he said that the election.
He stole the election.
Because he's just being the mainstream media. You know?
He's being the mainstream media. His brain's all messed up because of them jabs. Like, you know what? Let's turn this podcast around. Let's just become an alt-right.
Jabs. Hold on.
Jabs, like the COVID shots.
Let's get some guest speakers in here.
That's what they call them. Ben Shapiro, Dave Rubin, all come on here. You know, there's some. Ben Shapiro's sister got big O titties. Like, get her on here.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry?
Look her up. She got big O titties. She's also
that's not what I heard. I heard goat titties, and I was like, are those like? Do they? She have
got big goat
titties.
No, I'm just saying.
I heard bingo titties.
Bingo titties, whatever you guys want to call them. You know, them tabby floppers are just flopping everywhere. You know what I mean? Genesis gets
flop and flop.
What a wonderful start to this podcast.
You talking about Abigail Shapiro?
Yeah.
Okay, I understand now.
Yeah, see? I once sent that to a friend of mine, and he was like, oh, damn, who's she? And then I told him there was the brother of Ben Shapiro, and he's like, why'd you gotta ruin it like that?
Is she married to the dude who was holding the flag during the riots at Capitol Hill? That dude looks like very.
You mean the peaceful protests?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just totally.
Wow.
Yeah, totally. The peaceful protest.
That was just people walking in a straight line. All right,
they were just passing by, and then Nancy Pelosi was like, "Come on in here. We want to tell you something." And then they called the police, and you know some things happened. God rest her soul, Ashley Babbitt. You were a hero to the country.
The hell's Ashley Babbitt?
She was a rioter that was killed there. You're gonna have to keep up with my political references, please.
Oh, really?
Because the only reason I remember her name is because somebody said, by the way, I'm a super duper liberal. Just want to get that through. It's okay. I know. It's crazy. But the only reason I remember her name, it's too bad she died, but, you know, whatever. somebody was like, damn, she got to, so what the hell did they say? She got to visit the Capitol and meet Ronald Reagan on the same day.
Wow.
And I thought that was the funniest tweet I've ever read. But also, I feel bad for her because she was like brainwashed and like sent there and then killed. Like, didn't really see. It's not important.
Are they
Watch
really
the video.
brainwashed? I mean, I'm not a super liberal, but I mean, I don't know if
super
they were
duper
actually...
liberal. Right?
Yeah,
Sorry.
You gotta add the D
a...
because it's a pronoun.
I'm not a super duper liberal because I don't
Kevin,
believe
it was a
in
joke,
garbage
don't...
like that. So, but yeah. So I'm not.
Yeah, other than the cold
anyway,
though, I'm good.
Good. Just another welcome back to the podcast. How you feeling this week?
Doing a little better.
Good. That's good. Are you?
Everybody dead.
I don't know. Everybody got that fake virus, and they all, I don't know, they're all sick.
No, I have a cold. I took a COVID test this morning. I don't have it.
He took a jab. That's why he's feeling sick.
You know, this just sounds like it's some sort of illicit street drug at this point. Yeah, man, you taking that jab?
Yeah, man, I'm taking that jab. I'm getting that binaural jab.
That's literally what they call it. Like, if you're an anti-vaxxer, you say, I'm not taking the jab. It's in a lot of their memes and stuff. It's weird stuff. Weird stuff.
Yeah.
If I ever come across one of those memes, Kevin, I'll send it to you.
If I ever come across one of the anti-vaxxers, I'm just shooting them in the head.
Yeah, don't do that. That's violence.
Wow. Yeah, that's okay. I'm going to do that.
Anyways, let's move on.
So we have a lot to talk about today, but as we usually start the podcast, gentlemen, what did we all play last week? Desonoto, why don't you go first since you weren't here last week to tell us what you did?
I played a couple hours of God of War.
Oh.
Adam was watching.
I talked about it last week.
Oh.
I missed that.
Yeah. Didn't do too much. I healed my boy. So he's all right now for the moment.
Yeah, you got the blades.
Yeah, I got the blades, yes.
Good. Perfect.
He got all of the Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 joke. 10 out of 10 joke.
I didn't understand that joke. That joke went
Wesley
right over my head.
Snipes played Blade, the Marvel Vampire Hunter character.
Right, that still went straight over my head. Whoosh. I'm going to go to R whoosh right now. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
R whoosh.
Yeah,
that's a good subreddit. That's a good subreddit because sometimes people post in there, and it actually goes over the poster's head.
I'm probably in there 90% of the time of my life. Then
it's a great one. It's a great one.
A lot of things that go over my head.
Pretty easy since there's no hair wind resistance.
Exactly. Wow. You nailed it. You nailed it, Adam.
You know who could go over your head? Josh Allen. You see that man? He's got some ups. Holy moly.
Kevin, I saw a shirt from this the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills in the NFL.
Oh.
He hurdled over a man, and then he was pushed out of bounds. Now. Yeah. Yep. Well, yeah. It's becoming a thing he's known for at this point. Not common for QBs to do that, but I saw a shirt from this. I'm just going to give it a special shout out. This company called 26 Buffalo. They make T-shirts, and when they make them, they have like specific Buffalonian style designs. A lot of them are Bills related. But they did like one that said Buffalo in the Batman movie theme, like that red, like weird creepy paint. I have a hoodie, but each time they put a design out, it's like a limited print, and you buy it, and like a portion of their profits go to like a specific charity or like a person. So they raise money for like a kid who has like a bunch of like a disease, and then his family needs money, and they're like, well, he really likes the Buffalo Bills and he likes chicken wings, so we made this cool shirt. But the one they made, it was a silhouette of Josh Allen jumping over something, and then it had the Hurdle street sign crossed out and wrote Hurdle Ave, like the word hurdle instead of hurdle. It was pretty funny. So, great site. Like if you want to support a local company and also charity and stuff, I've been buying shirts and stuff through them now. Also, I'm a good person now. I don't know what happened.
I see the shirt. I looked at it.
It's a cool shirt.
It is. Happy little
podcast has been sponsored by 26 Buffalo.
Little
Yeah.
Miss Mafia.
Oh yeah, they got a lot. I actually bought another one, and it might be like a woman's one, but it also is unisex. But it was like I don't even remember. It was like pumpkin spice or something. But it was like buffalo, and then it went
That's
to a good
great.
cause. So yeah,
Sponsored. Adam, what'd you do last week?
I didn't play anything.
Good. Kevin, what'd you do last week?
What did I do last week? Man, the hell did I do last week? I did a lot of shit last week. Let's see. I played Gundam Evolution. Shocker.
Mm-hmm.
I played Back for Blood with you, Genesis.
Oh, yes, we did.
That was fun. I
I laughed up the first
played.
time, and the second time was way better.
I played. I played. Cultic Chapter 1. We'll be talking
Mm-hmm.
about that in a moment, and I'm reviewing that bad
Mm-hmm.
boy. Um, it's a freaking phenomenal game. I think that's everything. Yeah,
Okay,
video game wise, that's what I played. I didn't
cool.
really watch anything. Oh no, I tell a lie. I finished the Midnight Club season 1. Um,
Oh, cool.
continues the slow burn. I'm just gonna get this out of the way right now. It continues the slow burn. It's still very good. I'm hoping season 2 actually happens, but apparently that's up in the air because it doesn't have like the viewership requirement or some shit. Um, I call nonsense. Just make season 2 anyways. Come on, you got this. Come on, Netflix.
Yeah, it's Netflix.
Greenlight this.
It also
Anyway,
probably would be some time because the other guy just announced a cast for his new show,
oh, okay.
so he's already on a different project too.
I mean,
He's
I
a
could
busy
wait.
man.
I just think, I would just like to see more. I'd like to see where they go with it because they set up a lot, but they don't really
Mm.
go anywhere with a lot of it, and it's not necessarily bad. Like if it doesn't get another season, I still had fun watching it, but I would just like to see them do more. I thought it was good, and should just keep going.
That's a passion project of his, so I wouldn't be surprised if they want to continue the relationship with him because he's put out like 7 shows on Netflix at this point.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, "Hey, if you want to, if I can make something else you want, let me make season 2 of this." So I would say it's
Right.
probably going to get a second season.
Well, and he's also got House of Usher coming.
Yeah,
right?
that's the one
Yeah.
that he's working on. Yeah.
Like they could finish that and come back to this. I wouldn't mind because like with how many little stories they have to kind of come up with for these kids to tell, like there's a lot of storyboarding and stuff that has to happen here for everything. I would imagine because
Mm-hmm.
it's basically like Tales from the Crypt or Are You Afraid of the Dark, but also it has a main storyline, so they have to write everything. So like if it takes longer for things to come out, that's fine. There was really no cliffhanger. I just want more, which is awesome. It's a great feeling.
Cool.
I don't know if that makes sense to anybody,
No, it
but
does.
like,
Yeah, I think it does.
yeah,
It's like
Okay.
me for Mindhunter. There was a season 2, and it's about like the how FBI agents who developed the serial killer profile, and it's just interviews
okay.
with a bunch of like people playing serial killers, and it doesn't glorify them or anything, but it's just an interesting show. And the second season's not really a cliffhanger, but like, give me more. I loved it, but the creator was like, I want to do other things. So we'll see.
Mm.
It's been some years at this
Yeah.
point, though.
Cool. What did I play? More Soul Hackers 2. Trying to finish my second run, get the platinum of this game before God of War happens. I played Back for Blood with Kevin. Like I said before, had a lot of fun. I messed up the first run. First run, I did not listen to a lot of instructions, and the second run, I listened to a lot more instructions and played like I actually meant I wanted to play. Um,
Man, it's all good. We both have no
no,
idea what the hell we're doing. We're learning as we go.
oh my God, listen, when we go down to those stupid caves, the Ridden caves, those are the worst things, but those give us the best loot that we possibly find in the game. Um, Back for Blood is a lot of fun.
hmm
I would
Updates have
say,
helped it a lot.
yeah, I would say from initial reviews and previews that this game's probably improved quite a bit. So if you've not tried Back for Blood yet, it's usually on sale for like 10, $15 now. I would highly recommend pick it up and try it out with a group of friends. It's a lot of fun now. Um,
I feel like Back for Blood has actually hit what Extraction should have been on release.
I think Extraction is dead on release now, right? I mean, dead on
It
like it's
pretty
dead
much
now.
did
It's
die
just
out.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't really take it far enough from what I saw of people playing it.
Well, I mean, it's Ubisoft you're talking about. They don't take anything far enough, and they don't
I
take anything
mean,
seriously. So,
I
death to
mean,
Ubisoft. Not in a
Rainbow
bad way. I
Six
mean, to the
Siege says
company.
Rainbow Six Siege says otherwise, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Somebody
Instead
else
of
can take
death
that
to
over. I'm sure it'll be
Ubisoft, we
fine.
could say dissolve to Ubisoft. Doesn't sound as
I'd,
threatening.
I'd still say death to Ubisoft. Just the
All
company.
right,
I want the
just
company to go
say.
bankrupt.
Yeah. I mean, dissolve. Whatever. You do you, man.
Bankruptcy to Ubisoft. That's better.
Ooh,
I want that. That'd be good. If Ubisoft ever went out of business, it'd be
City,
great. I would be
come
the
on,
first man
lean on me,
cheering.
man.
Um,
Anyway,
but I think that's all I played. No, I'm not missing anything. That's all I played. Anyway, we like I said before, we have quite a bit to talk about. Kevin,
no,
you have
hold on. Destinato hasn't gone.
he went first.
Yeah, he went first.
See, look how much I pay attention.
Not at all.
Kevin, you
Continue.
have quite a bit you want to talk about this week again. So
Mm-hmm.
go right
All
ahead,
right,
sir.
let's kick this shit off right away with the board game review. This War of Mine,
That was
which
my
is based,
request.
yes, just Genesis request.
Yes.
This War of Mine is a board game based off of the widely known and popular video game of the same title.
Oh man, I was muted.
Oh,
I was saying I wasn't done.
oh. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter. Go ahead.
I kind of interrupted him, and then Genesis, you were like, "All right, Adam, would you play it?" I was like, "Whatever, I don't give a fuck." Should have been here last week.
Wow. All right, let's go back to that. Let's go back to this. No, finish it up. You got this.
Me and Genesis and our little brother played Hot Wheels
Oh yeah, we did play that.
for a little
We
bit.
did play Hot Wheels. I did forget about that.
Um,
That was an experience.
seems like there's still things missing in the game, like lobby online play. You literally have to have someone join a lobby and like quickly send however many invites you want to join that lobby. And we had to do that like 5 times over to get everybody in the same lobby.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
it kept
it's like
saying it was
Wreckfest.
full.
Yep.
Because there's no like
Ooh, my
feature
bad.
to bring 3 people in a lobby
Well,
and just have that.
because we can go in Wreckfest, Kevin. You and I could go places.
Like if you run a
Can we?
party together.
Oh, yeah, I guess we can
Yeah,
party up in that. Yeah.
yeah, we could party up, and then we could go play. Like we could like start games or join games together and stuff.
Oh, yeah. We had
Yeah.
to quickly, upon joining, set all the options. So
Yeah,
nobody
the
else joined.
option
That's
stuff
cool.
I had to take care of, because I always hosted. But
Yeah.
we could have, remember, because we had bad times going into other people's games, because like
Yeah.
6 other people were playing, and they were playing boring rules, and we were like, no, make this fun. Lawnmowers
right.
versus trucks or buses. Let's go.
Lawnmowers
I keep
versus the
looking.
sofa chair.
I keep looking for more like content, and there's just none. And I get
I know. I'd download
See,
it
the
again
thi-
and jump in if you ever wanted to do it.
problem with Hot Wheels is
play
that
it
there is no system to be able to enter somebody else's game if you have more than one person with you. So you can enter somebody else's game by yourself, and it's always at random. There's no like you can see the amount of servers, the amount of people.
Yeah.
That's
You
weird.
always have to just jump in, and you
It
have to
is
just
weird.
jump in at the right time with everyone else to be able to end up in the same game. I think it took us
Can
like
you
22
host?
tries. You can host, but you can only host private. You can't host any public games.
What? That's bizarre. Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd rather do that private, anyways.
Yeah, but that's you see, it gets boring after just 3 people. Like it's fun, but there's all these randos online. And
Yeah, I
Hot
would
Wheels,
think
I mean, is
randos wouldn't be fun. I don't think their internet I don't think that online be good, if I'm honest.
there wasn't really much clipping that I'd see that people like. They're up ahead and all of a sudden they clip all the way back. It's more along the lines of the tracks were just insane. Some of the tracks made zero sense to say how you could drive on those things. But I having the randos and that would be a little bit more fun because the 3 of you constantly racing. It's like sure we do a couple rounds and then we're like, all right, I'm bored
Mm-hmm.
because there's no power ups or anything. It's just you racing to the end with boost. That's
Okay.
it. It's not. It's an arcade racer that's just missing.
I gotta be honest, it sounds boring even with other randos.
Randos just make it like a little bit more competitive, I guess. But
Okay.
Anything
Yeah.
else?
Desmodo.
We played a little bit of Rogue Company.
That we did, yes.
Nice.
Kevin Rowe Company. We should
No,
jump
we gotta
into
play
that
Street
again.
Fighter. Hell yeah.
They
We
got
got some different modes now.
all new game modes.
Ooh.
100%. We should go for that.
Yeah,
we
I
should
would
jump back
definitely
into
play again. That game's so fun.
Oh yeah. What else you got, Dustin? Anything else?
That's mostly it. I think.
You watch anything good on TV, movies?
Oh, I finished the Dahmer show on Netflix, starring Evan Peters, and
How was that?
he is a wondrous actor. Oh my God, all those years on American Horror Story and all the other things he's done. Gosh,
He's a really good actor.
He's really good. Very interesting look into this serial killer cannibalist life this man had.
When was this based off of? Like what time period?
1970s to 80s.
This dude just went around killing
He died in
boys
the
and eating
90s.
them?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got. Oh, did he actually die in real life too?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
He died in the exact same way they showed.
Yeah, they showed a prison scene where he got.
Yep, that's how he
beat
dies.
the fuck up.
Yeah, by an insane man.
Well, I think he had his.
He was insane, but
honestly.
nobody blames him. Nobody blames him.
Yeah.
So the TLDR version is he just went around, killed a bunch of boys.
No.
And-
There's a bit of I mean, there's a reason they made a whole like little series on him. He's kind of a disturbed person. Not a good childhood, bad parents.
that leads you to be a murderer.
No, it's never simple like that. It's way more complicated.
A lot.
Like
it's
even
a lot
the show
stuff.
tries to cover a lot of things, but like
yeah,
no one really knows why he did it. Obviously, but like yeah, it's Jeffrey Dahmer was a slightly slow, kind of intelligent person who targeted predominantly mixed race.
Yeah, black.
Native
American,
targeted minorities
Indian,
and used the height
Hispanic.
of the AIDS epidemic to keep away from police, like to avoid capture, and it worked for 19 people he killed, 19 guys.
How
17.
17.
How would the AIDS epidemic help him?
There's a true story that they show in the show where one of his one of his victims got out, like a 14-year-old Asian kid. And then police ended up returning that kid. And then he brought up like being gay, and they were like, "Well, we don't need to hear anything about that," and like backed off and didn't want to like go near them.
Being all like,
bad.
Yeah.
It's a systemic failure of that police system where they were like,
those police.
Yeah, minorities were dying. They were also gay, and they're like, we're good. We don't need to investigate these. And then one neighbor literally like complained about it a lot.
Like called many, many times, and they would just like laugh it off at the police station or not take her seriously, never send a cop car over. And he was just allowed to keep doing what he was doing in his apartment right next door.
Lucky dude.
I wouldn't use that word, but yeah, okay.
I wouldn't use that word.
I mean, he was lucky. He had luck on his
Yeah,
side.
I don't know. I wouldn't associate such a positive word with that guy. I would just say, like, instead of him being lucky, I would just say that a bunch of systems failed. Like, you know what I mean? I get what you're saying is not wrong. It's
Yeah,
just not what I would use.
because it's not like he was covering his tracks in any like intelligent way either. He would just come up with things to tell people, and they would accept it.
Yeah.
At that time, it was like everything is like there's no cameras.
Bless.
I mean, witness
Bless.
statements only go so far before people don't want to do their job anymore.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the amount of killings and torture and drugged up people he made, like,
Yeah.
oh my god, he drugged so many people up. Holy shit.
So.
One of the really disturbing things he did was to that 14-year-old boy.
Yeah.
He I forgot if it was in school or somebody told him. There was some study some scientists did back. No, it was his dad telling him that his own father showed him when he was like, I don't know, 10 years old, how to dissect an animal in their cabin, and they're like ripping organs out and playing with it, and he was like, oh, this one scientist made it so that if you took out what was it, the organs and left the brain, or take out the brain and left the organs, one of those two, and you put acid. I think it was if you took out the organs, you put acid on the brain, the whatever, like the frog would start to move its arms and try to
Yeah, it
block
would
its.
flail around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he decided, oh, let me drill a hole into this 14-year-old kid's head, pour acid down there, and see what happens.
Did his arm flail around?
I don't know, they didn't show it. I don't know what happened, but
I didn't watch the show, because I
they didn't
don't-
really go in depth with showing that particularly. They just
Yeah.
showed him like in a chair and
Yeah, I didn't watch the show because I usually don't care about murder stuff. If we're gonna learn about a murder, I'd rather just watch like a 20-minute YouTube thing, like get all the. I don't need to know about his home life. Great, give me a rundown. Let's go. I don't need an hour of this every day. Like, let's move
I
on.
mostly watch it because it was Evan Peters and I like his stuff.
He's good. He's a good Quicksilver.
Yeah, that's it's a well done show, I would say
Oh yeah,
too.
I'm sure it is. But yeah, but I only know about Jeffrey Dahmer because there's one, that Jeremy Renner movie from like 2002. Hawkeye played him. And then also a friend of mine kind of looked like Jeffrey Dahmer, so in school we used to always make fun of him. So we would always be on the Wikipedia page to go as in depth with Jeffrey Dahmer jokes as possible. And so we just came up with so many references. We referenced him wetting the bed. We referenced his father's book.
no.
We referenced so many things. So, good times. Also, the family of all the victims hate that show. They were not contacted. There was nothing going on with them. So a lot of them are coming out and being like, this show is just bringing up horrible memories. Don't do this. So, yeah. Which sucks, but...
Too bad. Rip.
That's kind of how they reacted in the show too.
Yeah.
To like them trying to make a movie and a book and all this.
Yeah.
I wonder what kind of luck that guy would have in a casino.
Probably bad luck.
I think he'd have pretty good luck.
Wasn't exactly a gambler. He just kind of did things.
No, but
He
you
got
see
away
his
with
luck
it.
with the police was good.
No, but the police are just not police.
Yeah,
that was
but
the issue.
Yeah, they just didn't want to get involved, and then also like, even though he seemed kind of stupid, people also thought, now a prevalent theory is he's autistic. But a lot of people don't want to call him that because then it just enhances a stereotype if you have like a disorder, like if you're like disabled in some way, like, oh, you got this, that means you're more violent. So a lot of people won't call him that. And then there was a
Disassociate him
whole
with,
argument
that's
about
what,
his brain. I believe they referenced in the show as well about
Yeah,
like
it's racy.
they wanted to burn the brain, but the mom wanted it studied. I believe that was in the show,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah.
because they were at the time they were studying serial killer brains back then. I believe John Wayne Gacy was a big one.
They did actually reference him in the show because that happened
Oh,
right
did
around the
they?
same time. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was
yeah.
inspired by John Wayne Gacy to get religious, I believe.
Yes, they
Yeah.
showed that too. He got baptized in jail.
Oh, yep. I told you we were deep in it back in the day. I could have wrote this show back in the day. I could have, well, me and a couple friends could have wrote that show because we were just, weird. We were nuts. A friend of mine bought a book to learn more. But the jokes went on for like 4 years, so it was good.
Yeah, they
I
went
would,
really in depth with that show. It's kind of
I'd
nuts.
just call him a retard. So don't call him
Don't
autistic.
say
He's
that.
a retard.
He denied any claim of insanity or anything because he's like, I
I
wasn't
mean, clearly it
crazy.
sounds like he was a retard. I mean, it
No,
just
don't use that word.
why? That's what he
That's,
was. He's a serial killer. What do you want me to call him a god? What's wrong with you?
yeah, what? Your choice is God or the hard R word? No.
It's not. Listen. You don't
Give
want
me
to
a
call him
light
autistic.
R.
So
Light R.
he's a retard.
Thank you
There
for
you
the
go,
light
light
R.
R. There you go, light R. The
I
hard
didn't
R's
even
a
know what you were gonna
retard.
do. Wow.
I mean that's what you want to call him. You don't want to
Man, I
call him
gotta
autistic. He's a
delete this
retard.
episode. I gotta delete this episode.
Why? I don't understand. That's a word. It's a word in the English language.
This is true.
Calm yourself down. It's not specifying race or anything like that. It's a word describing a serial killer who was stupid. Okay, there you go. I don't know how else you can take that. Anyway, thank you, Destinator, for letting us know what you watched.
$4.
For $4, Kevin,
Yeah.
you're back up.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
What the hell? All right. So anyway,
This
I'll
war of
just
mine.
start over. This War of Mine, board game. Oh boy, here we go. All right. So this game is a narrative experience game. We'll go with that. Sure. For player count doesn't matter. Um, you all are playing together. You're basically acting as the collective hive mind of your survivors, um, who are in a war-torn region of the world and trying to get by on what little they have. They have a primitive shelter, but not all of it has been like excavated or had crap moved around and cleaned out and whatnot so they could build more stuff. So you have to go about doing that with the resources you have available to you. You can build certain little like workshop things or food storage and other whatnots, um, beds, bedrooms, and yeah, all you gotta do is just survive. Easy, right? No. Um, so you do have an overall goal for whatever mission you decide to do. Good luck reaching that. Um, but what's really fun about this game is if you're playing with the right crowd, it can really get into like the setting and stuff. It can lead to some lengthy, strong discussions, we'll call them, over what you're supposed to do when decisions come around.
I like
So
lengthy, strong discussions.
so the this podcast. So what happens is the rulebook basically guides you through how you play the game. So there isn't a whole lot to look over prior to playing the game, other than setup. Which thank God the setup is very well written because there's a lot to set up. It also tells you how to set up the box, like where to put things in the box based on what they think is the best way to store everything. So that's kind of cool. Um, so you set up a board game, which there's a lot, and you're gonna need a pretty decent sized table, big board. Um, and then you take the two provided Ziploc bags. One is the garbage bag, and one is the save bag. Um, and you don't really get much more instruction than that other than you'll be told how to use these bags later. Don't worry about it. like most things in the game. You'll be told how to use this later. Don't worry about it. And you just start playing, and you have to go through the dawn phase, the evening phase, and the night phase. I believe are the three different phases in the game. Um, and each one you do different things. The dawn phase, you can mess around with your shelter, um, build stuff, craft things, sort of, and do some other stuff. Basically, you spend resources to do things. Um, During the evening phase, you can choose to go out on like scavenging missions and some other stuff. And during the night phase, you sleep and kind of like go through an upkeep, quote, quote, sort of phase. And maybe you get attacked at night, maybe you don't. And the next day starts. Easy. So the there's a book of scripts, I believe they call it. There are over 1,900 scripted events that are written down in the book. The cards will tell you when to reference which ones, and most scripted events will take you to like other scripted events based on the choices you make within. Um, so there's a lot of replayability here, and certain events, like in order to choose certain things, you might have to have like certain requirements that maybe you have, maybe you don't have. So reaching every possible scripted event is also just difficult in and of itself. The majority of choices that you're making are when you go out to scavenge for stuff, and it is a really cool system. So when you choose to scavenge, you determine who's going out of the survivors that you have, and you send them off with whatever equipment you're going to send them off with, and then you pick the location you're going to out of the three that are on the board, and depending on the overall size of the location, you uh, what you call it, form a exploration deck out of however many cards the location calls for, again based on size, and you go. You decide, okay, I'm exploring, and you take the top card off of that stack of cards and see what happens. Um, Also, while you're doing this, there's a noise level. Um, and pretty much all these exploration cards are going to be things like stairwell, rubble, be like animal interactions, whatever could possibly come up while you're exploring an area, basically. Most of the time, you're going to be taking exploration cards off of the deck and discarding them. If you ever run out of cards, that'll be the last thing that you're doing in the scavenge. But if you, through looking around, open up new areas or do certain other events and things, you can add more cards to the deck. It's basically a sort of like time mechanic of how much time do you actually use up doing the various things that you're doing, or when do you exhaust all directions you can go in, sort of deal. Um, and while you're doing all of this, you're also rolling for how much noise you're generating, because cards will could constantly change that. And if you generate too much noise, there's a chance that you have an interaction with a resident of wherever you are. Will that be friendly? Will it be hostile? Will it be neutral? Who knows? It might actually be determined by how you answer the questions the person asks you. Um, and again, that you just start going through tons and tons of scripted events in the book based on your different answers and stuff. The game is very unforgiving, very brutal. Uh, you don't have a whole lot protecting you from death. This isn't like, an RPG or something where, oh, I got hit with a fireball, I'm Gucci. No, like, you get hit with shit and your character is going to be reeling. And you can die from pretty much anything. You can die from hunger, from thirst, from blood loss, from disease, not sleeping, exhaustion. Um, a lot of things that can kill you in this game. Very little actually keeps you alive. Uh, but let me tell you something. It is a very fun game to play if you've got the right group of people. Um, you don't necessarily have to role play per se, but you can. That's not like completely off the table. And the way that the game is played it's not like you control one of the survivors unless you really want to play it that way. But the book kind of says like, yeah, don't worry about that. You're more the collective. Okay, what are we going to do? Let's try to think this out and what's like the logical choice to make, or like what is the choice we're gonna make? Maybe you don't want to be logical about it. Maybe you just want to go crazy. Um, and yeah, it's very fun. The board is double-sided for the two different scenarios that are provided in the game, but just because there's only two scenarios doesn't mean that there's not a lot of replayability, because it's basically like how you start off, not really like an entire scenario. It's just this is the part of the world you're in. Call it that. And that's about it. Um, I don't know. It's a very good choose your own adventure. There's an expansion, Tales from the City or something like that. Tales of the City. Um, that adds in a bunch more scripted events, a few more locations, a bunch of cards that are different decks. It adds a cat that you could potentially meet, and I forget what the cat exactly does. I do have that expansion. I think there's one other expansion. Um, but yeah, very different kind of game. Very choose your own adventure. Very easy to get into. There's not a whole lot of rules. It's basically just follow directions and come up with how you're gonna react to things. And there you go. This war of mine.
Awesome.
hmm
That's another
Oh,
was
I
a cat
totally
in there.
didn't talk about the bags. Hold on a hot minute. The save bag, the garbage bag. So the garbage bag and the save bag are used so that if you're playing the game and you want to call it quits for whatever reason and pick it up later, those bags are how you basically save the game. That's those two bags, and there's a sheet of paper that you can track uh, certain things on the actual board itself, like what cards are where and who's alive and like what disease and crap they have. Um, but yeah, certain events will say like, "Oh, put this item into the save bag" or whatever, because that's still going to be some sort of relevant thing. Whereas other events might be like, "Oh, you can throw this in the garbage bag because you're never going to see that again. It's gone." Um, and it's neat. I've actually picked up saved games before. Um, It's really easy to do because you just take the save bag you have, you dump the whole thing out, put everything where it belongs, you're ready to go again. It doesn't take long to set the game up. It's just putting everything where it belongs on the board. There's just a lot of spaces for stuff. It's not a complicated setup. It's just taking a lot of different stacks of cards out of the box, basically. So, yeah.
Cool.
Easy setup, easy takedown. And no pressure to finish it in one sitting. There you go.
Cool. Any questions for Kev? Any comments? Any
Once going
concerns about
twice.
the cat?
Soul, Cultic. All right, so Cultic Chapter One. This is a game by 3D Realms. It is a single-player first-person shooter. This is gonna be a rapid-fire review. There's not a whole lot to say here. Um, this is done in the vein of old-school first-person shooters, through and through. The graphic style, the overall gameplay. In fact, the overall gameplay, the aesthetic, the animations, the everything are. This is basically the spiritual successor to Blood, if you're familiar with that game. I don't think many people are, but very good game. Highly
I don't
recommend.
know about that game.
Uh, GOG has it. Play that. I think it's called One Unit Whole Blood, technically. Um,
Whole blood. Oh, not skin blood.
yeah, no, no, we don't do that skin blood shit. Um, Basically, it is a first-person shooter where you're up against like cultists and crap. Mostly cultists. There might be like monsters or other creatures involved at some point in the game. I'm not very far into it, but let me tell you, I am loving this game. Oh, excuse me, I am loving this game. Very good weapons, very violent, very much like the level of violence in Blood. Um, so they've modernized a little bit. There's some interesting extra control features, we'll call it. So you can dodge uh, side to side, forward, back by like double tapping. Although this is the one thing that I actually have a complaint about. The double tap to dodge is an option to turn on or off, but there is no slider for setting the delay in double tap. So if you have it on, which I usually play games like this that have double tap dodge, but they also have the slider that says like, hey, how quickly do you have to double tap in order to dodge? Without that, when you have this option on, there are some like skinny platforms and stuff to walk on, or like some staircases, and you kind of like if you keep recentering yourself, there's a chance that you're just going to trigger a dodge and go off because it's way too forgiving with like how quickly you have to press. You don't have to press it quick at all. Like you can do a quick, or you can do a slow tap tap, and it'll still count as a dodge as opposed to like tap tap. Um,
Tap tap.
so that is one thing that they definitely need to either improve upon or just add the slider. I don't understand why that's a problem. Every game that has this feature usually has one. Um, but that's minor thing. They should be able to patch it in pretty quickly. Uh,
Patch it.
the mechanic of when you're falling, you can crouch and do like a action roll when you hit the ground. That's cool. Um,
Roll.
it's very jarring because it's a first person game that's trying to be a retro game. So it's smooth, but it's not smooth on purpose. Like there's not like when you fire a gun, it's like 7 actual frames of animation. So very similarly, so is the dodge roll. So the first time you do, or not the dodge roll, the action roll. So the very first time you do it, it is very jarring because you're like, oh god, your view doesn't smoothly rotate as you do this like somersault, and after a while you get used to it. It's fun. It's a cool mechanic. Uh, has its uses in combat, I suppose. Um, Another cool thing about the game is there's actual lore in the game and story that is revealed to you in the form of like notes and stuff. Think along the lines of like Resident Evil. When you're walking around, you can actually examine stuff if you look at it, and it'll give you a sort of Resident Evil style response, like, "Oh, this the truck crashed into the fence," or like, "Oh, there's blood on the wall," or "This symbol, I don't know this symbol," or like, "Oh, this is a symbol of like the occult," or whatever. Um, but if you go up to a typewriter that has a piece of paper inside of it, you can read what's on the paper, and you can also interact with the keyboard. That gives you the option to type. Fun fact: the typing actually works, and it actually is portrayed in the note in the typewriter. So if you decide to go to the typewriter and just start hitting the use key of the type section like I did, then you go read the note afterward, there's a whole line of just random characters that you've typed. But if you take your time and you actually know how a keyboard is set up, because the resolution does not allow for actual letters to show up on the keyboard, but they are all in the proper positions. So if you took the time to, you could probably type out actual things. It does work that way. So that's a cool little design choice there to actually have a functioning typewriter that you can use on the notes within the game.
I'm gonna type in
Uh,
one word and one word only.
yeah.
I'm gonna type in the word retard in there.
Oh my God. Um.
Hmm.
Mm, there's a lot of secret stuff to uncover. There's secret areas just like the old school shooters. They're kind of hidden in the same sort of ways. But what's in the secret areas, sometimes it's better weapons like usual, but also there's weapon upgrade parts because you can